Fox News may sell itself as being fair and balanced, but one of its most popular faces is at the heart of the latest lying scandal. Last week, Mother Jones published an article alleging host Bill O'Reilly of lying about experiencing combat during the 1982 Falkland War. According to O'Reilly's book, The No Spin Zone, Confrontations with the Most Powerful and Famous in America, the then CBS correspondent was caught in the middle of a, quote, war zone in Buenos Aires. But others report that no American ever set foot in the combat areas of the conflict. And CBS staffers that were with O'Reilly say the area they were in wasn't so much a combat zone as it was, quote, an expense account zone. One of those staffers is former CBS correspondent Eric Engberg, who took to Facebook writing, "He is misrepresenting the situation he covered, and he is obviously doing so to burnish his credentials as a war correspondent, which is not the work he was performing during the Falklands War." O'Reilly didn't take too well to these accusations. He called the Mother Jones report garbage, and he said this to fellow Fox News host Howard Kurtz about Engberg's comments.
I don't think he was there. I don't think he knows what happened. And I'll tell you why. I left the hotel. Engberg was still in the hotel, the Sheraton. I came back, running back with video for the Rather broadcast that night. Engberg was in the hotel. So if he were in the Plaza de Mayo, okay, where was the video? Why did I have to run it up to the feed point and send it to New York? So I don't know if he was even there. And I'd like everybody to ask him, were you there?
Okay.
Because his reputation, his nickname was Room Service Eric, that he never left the hotel.
Joining me now is Eric Engberg. Well, good morning, sir.
Yeah, first I'd like to order something from room service.
I was going to say, joining me from the Four Seasons, sir.
Frequently do that in the middle of a riot. He's completely, nutty. There were 5 correspondents working that story for CBS. 4 of them had been on that remote site for weeks, because the Argentine government would not allow us to go to the Falkland Islands, and we were hoping that we could get in, but when we couldn't, we had to stay in Buenos Aires and file stories on what the Argentine government was saying was happening and other sidebars. When the riot happened, and actually it was a slowly developing riot, O'Reilly has said in one of his books the crowd stormed the presidential palace. That is not what happened. What happened was the stupid government of Argentina, which was run by a junta of murderous generals, they announced that they were going to hold a speech that evening from the Casa Rosada, the presidential palace, and that the public should come to watch the speech. Well, in the meantime, the British released all the information of how the Argentines surrendered. And as people learned of the fact that the war was over and that they had lost, they became increasingly angry, and more of them started coming to the palace. And so you had a large assemblage of people. I would have estimated it at 4,000 to 5,000 who were there at the palace, angry over the government. Now that I was one of those who was there. The other 3 correspondents were there. I frankly don't know where O'Reilly was, but the people who were there covering this for our company will completely, assert, yes, Engberg was there with his camera crew. Does anybody believe that a reporter who is covering a war from 1,200 miles away, hearing that there was a riot at the National Palace, would sit in his hotel room? It's ludicrous.
So, well, that's a very clear response to Mr. O'Reilly's allegations regarding you. Let's talk about...
Yeah, he's nutty. He's nutty.
Well, at the very least, you two disagree. I'm not necessarily willing to call him nutty. I think you two may disagree on these issues. But let's go over some of the...
Nutty about me. He says that I was hiding in my hotel room, which is another one of those classic O'Reilly responses to any kind of criticism of him. It's always to fire back some personal slur at whoever made the criticism rather than respond to the criticism.
Fair enough.
So I was ready for it, and I'm laughing at it.